I'm gonna make some stew. I'm gonna make some stew. All right, so I'm gonna go get my deer meat that I had soaking last night on the back patio, and we're gonna go ahead and clean it. Now, this is gonna be a long process. I'm not going to have you watch the whole thing, but let me just show you. Here is the neck meat, and here are the ribs. So I got to get all the membranes off, all of those blood clots out, but I'm going to go ahead and take care of that. I also want to get the hard fat off of it and get some of that membrane off the back, and this is what the stew meat is going to look like. So after I do all of that, I'm going to go ahead and put it on a paper towel to go ahead and soak the rest of it off. And then this is the rib. I'm not going to cook this today, but we're going to go ahead and start with the ingredients for the stew. So I have carrots, celery, onions, potatoes, garlic. I'm also going to use a heavy bottom Dutch oven. I've got thyme, rosemary, avocado oil. I have onion powder, garlic powder, and some smoked paprika, some pepper and salt. And I'm also going to use some tomato paste and beer. Yes, beer. I have some homemade beef stock, and I also have some flour. I'm going to add my seasonings to the flour so that it's all nice and evenly coating the venison, and we're going to go ahead and toss it in that flour. Mix it real good, get it all even around, and then we're going to add it to this hot grease. Now, I use avocado oil because it smokes less, but you can use olive oil. Some people even use butter, but this is my favorite. And I'm going to go ahead and sear it all around and then take it out. And we're going to leave everything on the bottom of this because that beer is going to deglaze that. Add your celery, onions, carrots, and a little bit of butter to this, and then go in with a little bit of that beer and start deglazing the bottom. Now, this is going to take a while, so be patient, but just keep on trying to scrape the bottom. Add a little bit of beer if you need it. And you can also use beef broth if you're not wanting to use any type of beer. It is going to cook the alcohol out of it, though. Add your garlic after you have gotten it really nice and deglazed and that roux is nice and thick. And then add your tomato paste. Now, that's going to give it a nice hearty flavor. Add your potatoes and then go back and add your venison. And once I've gotten all of this good flavoring in here, if you want to add some extra seasonings, you can go ahead and do it then. Now, because I use my own homemade beef broth, I don't really add any extra seasonings to it because I flavor my beef broth before I can it. But you can add some at this point. And then you can add your fresh herbs to it. If you don't have fresh herbs, you can use dry herbs. Stir it up, put a lid on it, and let it simmer. Y'all, I forgot to add my Watch What Your Sister Doing sauce to it. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. But as you can see, it's simmering already. And then we're going to cover that back up. And that's going to simmer for about 45 minutes. Now, deer meat doesn't take as long as beef does to cook. So I've only cooked it for about 35 to 45 minutes. And the gravy is nice and thick. The potatoes are nice and tender. And it's time for me to make a bowl, honey. Now, I'm going to eat mine just like this. But my little culinary queen, Olivia, said she wanted some mashed potatoes with hers. And I was like, okay. I mean, there's potatoes in it. But she went ahead and peeled her own potatoes, chopped them up, and then I cooked them and made some mashed potatoes out of them. And she chowed down on hers just like I did, honey. And it was good.